I'm in my kitchen today.
Here you go. We are live. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. I'm your boy Narik Chase. In this video, me and Ken are going to be talking about and having a great discussion about a reboot or a remake or sequel, whatever, of the 1983 film Krull. Now, for those who haven't seen the film, it follows this prince named Prince Colwyn and his group of outlaws on the planet Krull to save the future queen from a creature named the Beast, who's this alien parasite that's in this teleporting castle with these legions of, I don't know what the hell those things are. Slayers, yes.
And those were cool. Slayers look pretty damn cool.
This is one of those films that's like of course, you know, at that time it wasn't really appreciated, so it didn't like do box office. In fact, it bombed, but it has gained like a cult following.
Yeah, think of it as a science fiction,
like a sci-fi
Merlin. I don't know. I guess like a King Arthur type story.
Yeah,
sort of. I mean, in this case, you don't have Excalibur. You have something called the Glaive, which looks like a giant 12-inch with blades throwing star, but it can be controlled if you know how to do it. If you have the force or whatever, and you can control it.
You can say the force, yeah.
Yeah, see, this planet's been taken over by the Beast. He invaded. He took over the place. He's running it. You know, he runs the Black Fortress, which looks like a big giant mountain. Mm-hmm. And the mountain moves every sunset. It disappears and reappears somewhere else. So you can never actually ever attack the place because you don't know where it's going to be. Mm-hmm. And then the prince and the princess in this case were going to get married to unite their forces together to go take out the Beast. But, you know, he's the bad guy. Of course, he has one up on him, ruins the plans, kidnaps her, sets all hell break loose. And then, of course, the fortress disappears. So now they have a very limited amount of time to save the day, learn how to use the force, and make the Beast go away.
This film is pretty unique as kind of like how Cowboys and Aliens was.
Yeah.
It's a concept that you don't really see too much. Now, Cowboys and Aliens was based off a comic, Cowboys and Aliens. But it's pretty cool because you have this medieval fantasy setting and you have these sci-fi elements to kind of go with it.
Yep.
Me personally, I think the Beast actually feels more fantasy than he does sci-fi.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for the whole beginning sequence where like it flew in from space and you wouldn't think he was an alien.
Yeah, they wouldn't have. If they hadn't explained it, you would have just kind of like, huh?
Yeah, you would have just thought he was like some demon or something.
Yeah, if you've ever played Doom,
yeah,
he looks like the spiked creatures that are brownish looking, kind of demonic faces, and they have the spikes protruding out of their body. That's kind of what it reminds me of. I'm trying to remember what they're called. Way of Space was, because they never really show the Beast in this full body. I mean, you only see kind of like basically from the kind of like the mid chest and up.
Yeah, like obscure angles or like silhouette.
It's kind of blurry, kind of like he's projecting himself. I mean, he's massive. You know, when they actually show when they kind of give you a relation to his physical size, I mean, he's massive. I mean, he's huge. But he's they don't really show. I mean, visual effects. We're talking 1983, so
they weren't the best.
They weren't the best, and they were decent. For the time. I mean, it wasn't top of the line, but it was pretty darn good.
Yeah, it was decent. It was decent.
But yeah, But I mean, it was kind of cool though. I mean, he looked really cool, and I think that's what kind of kept it. And the Slayers were pretty badass. I gotta say that I've still never seen anything kind of like them in a movie, because they were kind of like, okay, you could relate them to like looking like stormtroopers, but very medieval, organic looking. And if you kill them, whatever's inside them, the alien or whatever you want to call it in it, kind of jumps out and hits the ground and buries itself into the ground. But they have this like really cool weapon, like one end fires like a spike, and then they flip it around and use it like a sword.
Yeah. So that begs the question, like the Slayers, they're Are they the little aliens piloting bodies?
Kind of like Kang or Independence Day.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Now that I just said that, it kind of, Independence Day probably took a cue from Krull, because what were they? What were the big things? They were biomechanical armor.
Yeah.
And who was inside? A little frail alien. I wonder if there's a tie-in to that.
I'm like looking at that today, and I was like, gosh, they like stab them, and then the head like a bus, and then the thing.
And he goes, and buries him to the ground.
Oh man, now okay, we're talking about a reboot. Okay, but how would you want this to be done? Would you want it to be a sequel, a remake, or a reboot?
I would like to actually see
a prequel or two.
A prequel would be like watching Riddick, with the force that came in at Riddick, because you really didn't see them until the third movie, but they were already in the beginning. You just mentioned them. I think, in this case, I would opt to do more a remake, but with, obviously today's tech and standards, but the storyline could remain very similar. I mean, you could actually expand it out a little bit more, because now you're not limited by the effects and ability of storytelling you had in 1983. So I think a remake would be right down the line. I would definitely go see a remake. Just to see.
I think they should. I think they should reboot it. Like, take 50% of what they had, like the 50% overall, 50% of it, because it had a great setup. It had some interesting characters. You know what I'm saying? It had a good story. But I think they should add, because I bought the book, and I was hoping, since it was a book based on the movie, there'll be more backstory. There'll be more things kind of happening in the background, like
a lot more information prior to and or around.
Yeah, like what other parties across the planet how they were dealing with it. Like, do like the whole Star Wars thing. Have one like towards like the climax or something. Have the climax where you have the prince and the princess dealing with the beast, the guys, the good group of good guys in a castle trying to fight the forces in a castle, and then have like this major battle somewhere where like these forces, this whole large army of forces are bearing down on like a kingdom or something, and just have like this big brawl or something. So I was hoping there'd be more of that, and you'll get a little bit more backstory with other characters. But the book was like one of those books that's like they took the script and just turned it into a book. They didn't add nothing extra to it.
Mm.
So I'm hoping, that's why I said, like, if it was a reboot, there'll be more like political intrigue, like countries coming together to try to, besides them, like more kingdoms coming together to try to work together to stop this big massive force that's coming across the land. And of course, you would want to see a big battle.
Oh yeah, you can scale it now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've seen Lord of the Rings, you've seen what was the other movie? The Hobbit. Basically, you can make a war.
Did you ever see that movie, The Great Wall?
Yes, I did actually.
One of the best scenes in there is the first big battle.
Oh yeah, I thought it was just fat. I mean, the story, but the visual effects in that, I mean, just the visual alone in that movie is phenomenal.
Yeah,
the army and everything, and how you have the different groups and colors, and and then the scale. When they said, "Okay, it's time to play," they went to play. Man, that was freaking awesome.
That
was phenomenal.
Like visually, that movie was good.
Yeah, I mean, that was on. Because I saw in the I saw the advertisement in the theater, and I said, that looks kind of interesting. But then I kind of read the storyline. I was like, kind of weak. But then I was sitting around here with nothing else better to do, and boom, guess what comes on? And I start watching it, and I'm like, damn, this is actually pretty freaking sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it has Matt Damon in it, it's pretty good.
Yep. I was I think that's what we should do, like with the remake or a reboot, just like that. I want to see like what they're doing to the land. The movie does get into it, but it doesn't get into it enough. Like you don't know what happened to his kingdom. It starts off with the creatures attacking her kingdom that they're in.
Yep.
So you don't see like any of his reinforcements. You don't see other kingdoms coming to their aid or anything. Now, as far as like the band of heroes, I wouldn't change that. Cool. Keep the criminals and have them come on board. Have like all the main characters that they had. I wouldn't mind them like keeping them.
Yeah, the wizard, the Cyclops.
Yeah, but I want to introduce like other parties and stuff like that as well. Like have the prince, or whatever, since he was the sorcerer, be able to send like a messenger off, and they try to unite the kingdoms. And they're in fact like this. Say they're heading to the Black Fortress, right? Do what they did in Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. When Aragorn found out that Frodo was in Sauron's place, what did they do? They said they couldn't help him, but they could draw out the enemy. So they went to the enemy gate, got all of the orcs to attack them, and it made his trip to Mordor that much easier.
Yep. Knock on the door, stir the bees, get them out of the house so you can go get the queen.
So I think do that, or like we were saying, like I said earlier, have the beasts be like, okay, I'm about to wipe out humanity. Have them do like a last stand battle, and you get to see. I'm also interested to see like what would they, because I was watching the movie. I'm like, the humans, despite fighting these creatures for an undetermined amount of time, because we don't know how long he's been doing his thing. Like what other weapons and stuff did they have to actually fight them? Because we've already established there's magic in the world, and you know what I'm saying, that'd be more like, I want to see, for one, I do want to see more variety of the enemies.
Yeah.
Because all they had was the Slayers, and then they had whatever those shapeshifter things were. That were the one that killed that the old guy.
Well, I think that's what they look. I mean, that's what they were. If they're not, there, that's what they look like.
Oh, okay. So I want to see like different, not generals per se, but different types.
Now they had two in the show. You had a dark one, and then you had a white one. The white were more in the castle, and the dark ones were roaming the outer lands and stuff.
Yeah. Like I do want to see that, and I do want to see humanity have some type of, because they were having like swords and stuff, but like, come on, you want more. You want to pull the ball. You want to have like 4 or 5 different groups, and they all have their special abilities or whatever.
Yeah, because they were able to crawl. If I remember right, they were able to crawl on walls.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like,
and then when they came out of the water, they were pretty wicked looking.
Trying
to remember some of the other stuff that they were doing. It's been a very long time since I've seen Krull.
Well, apparently they don't need to breathe because they was under that water a minute.
And they came up and they had there's a picture of them right now where they come up and they're shooting the blade thing first, and then they turn around and make it a sword.
So I wouldn't mind seeing that. But yeah, you said you would like to see a remake, and I said I would kind of like to want to see a reboot. No, but let me ask you this: would you want to see it as a movie, or would you want to see it as a television series? Because honestly, it could work as both.
A series would give us more. I don't think it would make it as a movie now, but a series, I think it would do very well. Because you look at we've had many Netflix series, we've had a bunch of Amazon Prime series come out that have taken off like wildfire.
Yeah.
and of course, obviously, Game of Thrones, like, what the heck's Game of Thrones? Next thing you know, it's like the most #1 pirated thing on the planet. From a series of books from J.R.R. Martin. So I think you could easily make this a very successful
George R.R. Martin.
I don't know why I said that.
Tolkien.
Yeah, I know. See, that's the thing. They're all trying to copy the Tolkien guy, the master of storytelling. And that's a whole other world in itself, too. We could spend a month talking about that.
I could I could say, yeah, I could agree with you. I think if they did have a formula for that, Game of Thrones probably would be the best one next to Lord of the Rings.
I mean, I've kept up with the story so far. I'm waiting for the next season to come bopping out, and you were working on it here not too long ago.
Yeah, I just got through watching the 7th season.
Oh, okay, good. You finally caught up. I love the ending.
Yes.
That dragon was badass.
All or nothing now. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's game on. And I think there's only going to be 7 episodes or 6. It's going to be very short. Very short. You're going to be like, man, I hope I record this. Don't make me miss it.
I won't. I'm be missing it. Unfortunately, it sucks, but oh well. I get that.
Yeah, it's pretty good though. But yeah, I think it would do 6. I don't know if it would make it as a movie now, but I definitely would see it as a good series.
I could see it as a movie if it was. I could see that whoever say what's his full name, Peter Jackson, do like he did with The Hobbit. He took one book. I mean, he took 3 books.
He took 3 books: the Fellowship, the Tower, 2 Towers, and Return of the King.
And then he went back and did The Hobbit and turned that one book into 3 movies.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think they could do it, but it would take some serious good writing. And if not 3 movies, at least 2.
But see, we have a very obscure book that had a movie that granted a cult following, and then you have millions of people who have read The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings as some of the best writing there is. And I don't know if there would be. I don't know if you could sell it enough to make Krull a good big screen movie. That's my only downfall to it. Is I just don't know.
I would say this though, like if they did do that, and you're right, they would be putting themselves out.
But then again,
it should be like $100 million movie.
Oh hell no! No.
Maybe 50. Maybe start off with 50. If it works, bump it up. The next movie, bump it up a little bit. But you got to make the. You know what I'm saying? I understand. Like this don't need to be no $200 million movie. No.
I don't see that happening. But then I was saying like a one-hit wonder. I don't say one-hit wonder. Rephrase that. Like an obscure book, and then we have Guardians of the Galaxy. So,
I think they could tell. I think this could be a 2-hour movie. If it was going to be just 2 movies, make it 2 hours a pop. Introduce all your characters and your build up and stuff in the first one. Then the next one, have at it. Just all battles, and all of that. I think that would work.
You can do that.
Have some pretty cool battles in it. Like give
us a little taste in the beginning one. That way you want to see something more, and then that's how you hook everybody for the second one.
Yeah, make the first one a Fellowship of the Ring, and then the second one Return of the King.
Exactly. I mean, I could see it. I could, but I honestly I don't know. It'd be hard pressed because I mean it's been 37 years since this came, or 35 years since this came out. So, I mean, to most people it would be brand new. I mean, geez, literally, my son is still younger than this movie, so he probably never. I don't think he ever saw it anyway. So you could have that advantage of people who have never seen it or heard of it before and might get interested in it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that could be that possibility right there.
And it would take a talented director. I came up with 4 directors I think that could possibly do it. Of course, Peter Jackson, hands down. I think Steven Spielberg too.
Maybe.
Andrew Adamson, and he did The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Okay.
He did that one and the second one.
Okay.
And I had to say Anthony and Joe Russo. And the only reason I picked them is, because they did they've been doing most of these Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
They have a good grasp on characters as well as like story and action. They have a good, between the two of them, they have a good perspective on keeping things well paced with the characters, the action, and stuff like that.
Let's add. Let me think. Let me see if I can find a name here real quick. I think somebody might be able to pull that off. Where you at? Hang on. Neil Blomkamp.
Why does that name sound so?
District 9.
He did something else, but what was it?
He's done District 9. He was supposed to do the Halo movies. He's done a lot of sci-fi series like First Wave. Trying to think of all his movies here that he's done. Elysium. Chappie.
Chappie, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Elysium and District 9 are the big ones he's done so far, and everything else has been like animatics or some other stuff, you know, other things in it. But he did. I love District 9. District 9 is phenomenal. It's irritating, but it's made to be irritating. Because you feel, I mean, I felt like the guy. I felt like the main character in there. I mean, I was like, oh, man, come on. You know, I felt his, you know, from his perspective. So I think he can easily capture that. And the stuff he did for the Halo 3 stuff was freaking awesome. Yeah. I think because he's done so well, at least in a District 9, because the style of movie and the style that Krull could become would very easily mesh together. I think would work. His style of filmmaking, and, you know, and I've seen a little bit of Chappie, and it kind of falls along the same line. But I think he would be a very good choice to probably pull that off as anything, or whether it's a series or a reboot.
And you know, I go with that. I watched Aquaman. Good movie.
Yes, it was, wasn't it?
Can you tell me the director? I went back and looked at the director's filmography. This the fool that was doing like Saw, Annabelle.
Oh, the horror movies?
Yeah, I was like,
oh, James Wang?
Yeah. Horror. You got like 20 horror movies. You got one different movie, and then you got Aquaman. I was like, how did he come from horror and then go straight to Aquaman?
Yeah, I think he was all about the action and the style. But yeah, Aquaman was pretty sweet.
So I'm with you on that. But between all of them, I'd either go with, even though I said 4, it would either be between Peter Jackson, because Peter Jackson has like the grand view of things. He knows how to make it like
he looks deep.
Yes, and makes it massive. So it's like when he makes a movie like this, you know the stakes are high. It's going to be like, you know what I'm saying, massive battles and stuff like that. So the stakes are really high. But I would say Anthony and Joe Russo, because like I said, they have a good focus on characters. They do a great job. If Infinity War is a big example, all of these freaking characters in this movie, all of them were relevant.
Yep. Ton of story for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And not just, you know, you have the overall big story, and then you have all the little characters and then all the little supporting characters all tied in nice and tight. But yeah, we have to do a show on Aquaman.
Yes, we do. I reviewed it. I need to edit it and put it up on the website, but I am willing to get on here and talk about it because that was an awesome movie.
I just saw it Sunday. No, I'm sorry, Tuesday night at the new theater over here too.
I still ain't been out there. I was thinking about checking that out. I'm still mad because a lot of the, like, I was going to go back and do like my yearly Narik Chase movie awards. I can't do it because last year I've like right now I've only got half the list. I need at least 40 to 50 movies.
Holy cats.
Hey, I try to be fair. I don't want to be one of them cats that saw like 10 movies and then those 10 movies were on my top 10 list. So I try to be more diverse with it. So I got a crap ton of movies to catch up on. But yeah, what other things that you would like to see with it? Because like I said, and this is one thing I want to see. I want to see more technology from the villains, from the beast armies, and more of the, you know, the medieval stuff from the people. You know, it's got magical stuff in it too. Because I was watching it and I was like, well, the beast armies are all riding horses. And I'm like, y'all from outer space.
Yeah, why are they cruising around on the horses?
Yeah, I want to see them like not in like vehicles or something. Yep, kinda. Yeah, so it'll be more of technology versus like medieval stuff.
Yeah, kind of like when we saw the Iron Man and he had all the people throwing rocks and stuff at him.
Yeah,
you're like, what? I can just stomp you with my feet and call it a day and not even worry about you.
Yeah, that's more of what I wanted to see. Because I'm like, how in the hell does this guy got all of these horses? And I'm like, you're from outer space. Horses should be like the last thing that you had.
He kidnapped them.
he went all the way to the OK Corral and took all them horses and brought them on with him. But it also would kind of give you a sense of, and again, when you watch the movie, the beast does not feel like sci-fi. He feels very fantasy.
Yeah, in fact, I was looking at a review here a minute ago, and it's kind of like, yeah, you know, we kind of generated him more towards a fantasy world than sci-fi because just his design, his layout, his styling, and what he was doing was just not very. Yeah, it didn't look alien or anything. It didn't look technology-wise. I mean, other than he looked really creepy.
Yeah, he still does. So I kind of want them to focus. I would kind of want them to focus more on like technology. Him doing the thing where he was manipulating the fortress and stuff. Like I was fine. Like I thought that was pretty cool. I was sitting here watching it, and I was like, he's actually manipulating the fortress itself, which I don't mind because I can dig that. But I still want him to be a little bit more technology based. Like if his legions are destroying stuff. You remember Battle of Los Angeles?
Yes.
Have like those weird flying things or something and you can see with that you can with like because like in the movie it establishes like his armies were just messing everybody up. If you show him using like more advanced technology, you see you know what I'm saying? You'd be like, I can see how he's dominating people.
Yeah, he's becoming a more over oppressor. He's not just using sheer power, just sheer force.
Yeah, and like technology stuff would be like pretty cool. Like with the spear things, like I can get behind that, but it'd be pretty cool. Because that's like that right there. That's you can see that possibly as technology. Have one end of it be like a blaster, and then the other end converts over to like a sword, which is pretty cool actually.
Yeah, remember like Stargate? You know, the Jaffa used. You know, was a fighting weapon, but at the end of it could open up and become a pulse weapon if it's necessary.
See, it'd be something like that. And I'd also want to see them. Look, I don't necessarily want exposition on the beast himself, but I want his motivation to be a little bit more clearer. Yes, he's a world conqueror and everything, but I want to know what was his fascination with this chick. I don't even see it in when I read the book, I didn't really get that explanation.
Other than she was just a uniting force of the planet, I guess. So you took away that uniting capability and call it a day. I ruined your day.
But it's like, okay, it's like I would rather, like he didn't kill her, and it's like, and he kept trying to marry her, and I'm like, so what is your motivation? I can understand if perhaps she was like a descendant of one of your rival races or something, and you was trying to marry her for her power, or she had some type of power and you were trying to marry her for it. I could get that, but it's like she's like this ordinary dame.
Yeah, what's the deal here? What's the scoop?
Yeah, it's like, why you didn't kill her? Why you didn't enslave her? Why are you trying? Why
public executor? Sure, you mess with me, I'll take you out.
Yeah, like do something. I want to know what is your fascination with this chick. Like, we understand why the prince wants to be with her, but it's like, what is your motivation? I would want them to explain that, and and give me a little bit more explanation as to why he was so interested in her. Because, quite frankly, she was cute, but she wasn't the most attractive bale of hay in the barn.
Yeah.
But and like I said, I still enjoy the movie, but I'm just gonna, I'm critical of a lot of stuff that I like. So that's like another thing, and also like, what is his motivation to like conquering worlds and stuff? Like, I want to get inside his head a little bit. Like, in fact, because she was basically the damsel in distress. I want her to be more of, yes, she's captured in this castle, but I want to see her try to play a game with him. Like, okay, best example. There's in the Halo Evolutions anthology book, one of the stories picks up after the events of Halo 2. In Halo 2, the Master Chief had to leave Cortana with the grave mind while he went to go accomplish the mission of saving humanity.
Mm-hmm.
That anthology short story tells you what happens with her, because the games don't really address it, except in the third game you go to try to go back to save her. But that anthology short story tells you what she's dealing with the grave mind. Because the whole time he's messing with her, he's trying to convert her and everything, but she's holding him back. She's holding him at bay. Even in The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Zelda is holding Ganondorf's cloud form or whatever it is, holding him at bay. So I'm like, okay, what is the princess going to do in this? I want to see, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She knows the prince is coming to, she knows the prince is coming to get her and everything. So she's like, okay, I'm going to try to help him out. I'm either going to try to psych him out by trying to outsmart him. I'm going to try to sabotage him, something. You see what I'm saying? I don't want her to be a damsel, even though she got caught.
Yeah, you can do. There's a lot of option. Yeah, again, it depends on what you do with the movie or a series and how you want to draw out the story and how you want to fill in the gaps. You know, what's been going on behind the scenes. You know, what's their. I mean, like, you know, a good example again. We go back to Riddick 3, where you learn about the. I forgot what they actually called them. What was the army in Riddick?
No, that's the second one. The Necromongers.
Oh yeah, the Necromongers. Yeah, you know, you understand where they're going. They're just converting the galaxy planet by planet by planet by planet and just growing their armies. You know, they land on the planet, give you option. If you don't, hey, we vaporize you. Have a nice day. You know, what was the Beast's, thing in here? What was his deal? Why was he always into it? And why this particular planet and why everything was going on? I mean, it does say in the very beginning of the story here, says the prophecy regarding a girl of an ancient name that shall become queen, and then they shall choose a king, and together they will rule their world, and their son will rule the galaxy. And I'm wondering if the Beast was actually falling on that moment, catching her and becoming the king, and then they would rule the galaxy.
You know, that's actually an interesting premise. But I don't see like how they would rule the galaxy. They didn't travel in space or anything like that.
Well,
they didn't have the technology to.
Exactly, they didn't. But, you know, he's the outsider and rule the galaxy. So maybe he was a bad evil lord and trying to take over everything.
Well, let me ask you this: with them redoing it or whatever, would you want to see just him, or would you want to see more of his race?
It depends on what his backstory is, really. As far as we know, he's the only one. But, you know, in Stargate, we thought there was only one, Ra. And turns out there's every body in their mom. You just saw one little tentacle of a giant octopus. So, you could pull that off in this case. You know, maybe he's the oddball. Maybe he decided to go and be the bad guy, and everybody else is cool, and they just ignore him and let him do whatever he wants, There's a lot of play that you have because there's no backstory to the Beast other than he showed up, he ruined the wedding, kidnapped the girl, and that was it. I mean, that's basically the whole thing. But there's nothing about him, and nothing saying that he was seeking nation prophecy or he was seeking to, you know, take the world over. There's nothing. There is zero backstory as to why or the motivation of the beast. Period. I mean, there's none. Zero. And so you're free at this point to indulge in whatever you want to be. We can do we can do anything with the beast at this point, whether he's a, you know, outskirting member of his race or, I mean, it opens up many doors if you were to do a reboot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, easily reboot that.
I was like thinking about it. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing a group of his kind, but he's probably the strongest of them.
Could be.
And then seeing the Slayers under them.
Yeah, just like the not the Arbiter, the guys from Halo with the rubbernecks. They're not oracles.
Prophets.
The prophets, yeah. You know, the prophets pretty much ran the show, and then you had all the different groups underneath them, and they have their own political things amongst themselves. You know, so, you know, you had your elites and all them. They had their own policies and politics amongst themselves, along as the big group of the Covenant. So it very well could be a very similar process with the beast in his race or the beast in his armies. You know, it gives you a lot of play right there, a lot of option.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't want to see. I would either want to see the humans be more medieval and the aliens be more advanced, or have the humans have that Final Fantasy feel to it, to where yes, it's medieval, but there are some, like, they do have like guns and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Some upgraded technology other than horses and bows and arrows.
Yeah, but also should still have better technology. But it would be a cool mix of sci-fi and fantasy that way.
Sure, it's just a more upgraded, modernized version of the movie.
Yeah,
and in essence, that's what it was. I mean, they did throw some, you know, kind of like pseudo, you know, like the sand with the witch in the cave with the spider.
That creepy but cool.
Yeah, they had the, you know, kind of the way the elder guy looked. He looked all Merlin-like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the way the Slayers kind of came in there, and then of course they're riding horses. Then you have Cyclopses, which is, you know, medieval and fantasy as well. So, I mean, there was a lot of different elements in there. But I mean, if you just take and just mold that and upgrade it, you could do a lot. But I definitely, like you, would like to know more of the beast and what the deal is and why of what's going on, versus just slapping a bad guy in there and saying, okay, I'm here to kick your butt and there's no reason why I'm going to do it. I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what kind of lost. I mean, the movie looked cool. I mean, heck, when I watched it, it was, you know, many moons ago. But looking at it now, you're like, you ask those questions. Hey, what was he thinking?
And the biggest thing I was like, why is he so interested in this chick?
Yeah, what's the deal? I mean, the only thing that I, you know, like I said, just I was kind of going back over the, you know, running through, looking for some more talking points, and I'm like, the girl of an ancient name shall become queen, then choose a king, and together they will rule their world, and then they'll rule the galaxy. And that's the only little tidbit that comes in there, and at the end of it, the narrator repeats the prophecy that the son of the queen shall choose her king and rule the galaxy. So they repeat it at the end of the movie. I mean, that's the only potential thing that I could think of that would even be why he's there to ruin the day. Other than, unless he, you know, kind of like, I'm trying to think of that one movie where they're just basically stealing resources. You know, they're lying to everybody and they're just stealing resources the whole time they're there.
Yeah.
So we're here, we're in peace, you know, and they're like sucking the whole planet dry. But we're just here for peace. Peace, love, and chicken grease, people.
Well, I want to say this too. In the glaive thing, I wish they'd do more with it.
Yeah, they should have. They broke it open. I mean, he reached in a lava, he grabbed it.
And the only time he uses it
is at the very end of the movie.
At the very end of the movie. Like the part where them Slayers like fought them out there in the bog and stuff.
Yeah, he should have whooped their butt.
He should either pull a blade or a predator and just
exactly.
Took out about 4 of them and gotcha.
You know, and it kind of can, you know, it's more of a, looks like a magical tool, because at the very end of it, when they gather the flames together and then they fire the beam through the glaive, you know, destroying the beast supposedly. You know, if it had that much go-go juice, what the heck didn't you use it before? You know?
And even used it, and like I would like to see them do a developing arc with him while he's learning how to use it. Like say,
well, how did he even know the glaive was going to beat him anyway?
Yeah.
So, where is the reference? Oh, we're going to find an ancient weapon called the glaive, and it's going to kill the beast. Well, if the beast hadn't been there before, how do you know it's going to kill the beast?
Yeah,
it may have just pissed him off.
Good point. Because, like, even the part with the spider, like, it would have been pretty cool to see. Even though I understood why he wasn't there, it was actually a pretty cool scene. But say, like, the spider was coming to get old dude, he ran up there through the glaive, probably couldn't cut the spider, but it cutting the webbing.
Yeah, making it fall.
Yeah, not like fall to kill it, but helping it to slow it down or something. Like, that would have been a pretty cool scene.
Yeah, or it's just an underused tool in the movie, and again, no reference. You know, how do they know the glaive is supposed to do what it's supposed to do? If the beast hadn't been there till just now, how did somebody ahead of time know it was going to be ready to go?
And my thing is, if he'd been there a while, messing, just doing all types of crazy stuff, why hadn't nobody got it before?
Exactly. So I mean, we're really tearing this movie apart now, because now that I'm sitting here thinking about that movie, going, that didn't make any sense. What the heck were they thinking?
But again,
but you don't think about that when you're watching a movie. It's because it looks good and it's fun, it's entertaining. But here I am, 30-something years later, looking at a movie I saw as a kid, going, man, that movie was weak. It looked cool, but man, there's some weakness to that movie.
And like I said, I'm one of those fans. Like, I can go back, and if there's a movie that I like, yeah, I can still see there's some problems here. Now I'm asking questions. And there's some issues. Like, again, Tank Girl, one of my favorite movies. The movie is freaking stupid. The plot and the story and the writing is just ridiculous, but I still enjoy it. And like Krull, I think it's I still think it's
fun to watch.
Yes, it's fun to watch and still entertaining, but that doesn't stop it from having its share of problems.
Yeah. I mean, you can. There's those people that literally go through these movies frame by frame by frame, looking at all the mistakes and finding people with watches and all this crazy stuff. And to me, that's not my life. I can hit a weak story plot in a mile away, but there's that term I've used many times before called suspension of disbelief. If it's the one thing I took from my English teacher, of all things, Mr. Fraser. Suspension of disbelief, putting aside what you think is reality for the effort of the movie itself or the book that you're reading. You know that Rambo cannot shoot 3,000 rounds out of an M60. Just don't happen. It just don't happen. And you don't have recharging magical belts of ammo. It just doesn't happen. But do you watch it? Yes. Do you know that's wrong? Sure. But do you care? No. And all the movies are just like that. You start seeing, I mean, now there's some movies where I really, hit the BS button, especially when it comes to like military movies, because I've been in there. So I know a lot of the stuff is like, no, that would never happen in a million damn years. That is the biggest pile of crap I've ever seen. And I will call it on that. But I mean, that's because I've lived that. I mean, I know this, these things, but sometimes, again, like in a movie, okay, well, they had the glaive. They could have killed the beasts. They could have killed all these other guys. But why didn't they use it before?
Yeah.
Why? When did the old man get bagged and the changeling get put in there? I mean, I don't remember that.
And even like the part with the seer, where the seer got killed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're a seer. You didn't see that?
You didn't see it coming?
So it's just like, it's like little things like that, and it just makes you wonder. It's like, oh man, like when you see a movie like that and you like it, and then you see like those little problems, you're like, I wish that they do like a remake or something to address those problems.
But no.
All right, I do got some casting choices. I picked 4 for each character, but I'm only going to say 2 per character, and I want to see if you agree with me.
Alrighty.
All right. For Prince Colwyn, I got Chris Pratt or Kit Harington. And I know Chris Pratt's usually seen as a bit of a jokester.
Yeah,
but he's done some serious role. Like I liked him in
well, he looks like the guy. That's the scary part. I mean, Kit doesn't look as much. I mean, Kit's curly and got the beard, but I think Chris Pratt would probably pull that off a little bit better physically. If we're just relating to the original movie. I think he'd be more closer to the original guy.
And it'd be pretty cool to see him in like a medieval setting, because most of the stuff that he plays is more futuristic type stuff.
Well, yeah, Guardian of the Galaxy and stuff. He doesn't really play a lot of. I mean, the more grounded level was in Jurassic World.
What's that other movie he played with Jennifer Lawrence when they was in space?
The Passenger.
Yeah, so he's in, and the reason I say Kit Harington, because Kit Harington has played a similar role.
Well, he's been playing that similar role since Game of Thrones came out.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think he'd probably be burnt out of doing something like that. But Chris Pratt would probably be a better choice because one, we haven't really seen him do anything like that. Two, he really physically resembles the guy. So I think it would probably be. I would go Chris Pratt in this case.
All right. I got for Princess Lyssa. I messed up. Let me see this lady, because like I said, I did 4, so I don't know who that chick is. Okay, I'm sorry. Who the heck is this chick? I don't remember this chick. I wrote this chick down. I don't even remember this lady. Oh, I got it. But I'm not. I might have to take off then. Well, never mind. Rose Williams or Daisy Ridley.
Let's see, Rose Williams.
Rose Williams, she played on Rain. She was one of the.
Oh, she was the one that lost her head.
No, not her. She was the other princess.
She was her friend, and she got killed. Yeah, I think that was her.
Maybe I picked the wrong one.
I was pretty sure she lost her head. Maybe I'm wrong.
There was Lola. She lost her head.
Okay, that's who I was thinking. Okay, never mind. Oh, that's the princess. Okay.
Yeah, the blonde.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. Either her or Daisy Ridley. And for those who don't know, Daisy Ridley, Rey from Star Wars.
I would probably go. I would go Rose Williams.
I would say Rose Williams, but I would like to see Daisy Ridley play a character like this, because the Star Wars is kind of pushed on to be like this strong female character. So I want to see her play more like a more vulnerable one, but still be like headstrong and stuff. But you're right. Rose Williams has had more experience playing royalty in a medieval setting, so it would seem to have her fit.
Yeah, it would be easier to absorb her into it. Not that Daisy would be anything out, but I think she would fit better, easier. Easier. English is a second language.
For the Beast, I'm going to say 3. Andy Serkis, Idris Elba, or Benedict Cumberbatch. That right there. Some tough choices, man.
I would like to see Alba. I would like to see him play a bad guy. He's always middle of the run or extremely good. I've never actually seen him play a bad character.
I hadn't seen the movie, but there's only one movie I've seen where he was actually like a bad guy. And it was like it was one of those, like a stranger comes into your house and he turned out to be crazy. I can't remember the freaking name of the movie. So, I
would really like to see him. Definitely, actually, would like to see him do something like that. I know there's rumor of him coming into the James Bond movie franchise as the next bad guy.
I was actually hoping he'd be Bond, but I wouldn't mind him being a bad guy either, because he seems like he would be a pretty cool.
I think he could play a pretty good bad guy if he really wanted to. I think he can damn well pull it off. I mean, we've already seen him as Hemdale. We've seen him in Thor. Well, Thor Hemdale.
He was a bad guy in The Losers. Well, he was a good guy who got turned into a bad guy.
In The Losers?
In The Losers, yeah, he was like a douchebag the whole movie, but at the end, he actually like.
Oh yeah, he was in the plane.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Yeah, he was.
Oh, okay. The name of that movie where he was in that way he was trying to get into that woman's house, or he was in a woman's house. It was No Good Deed, and she
I've heard the name. I don't think I've seen it. Though.
She let him in the house because it was raining.
Oh, I think I remember that.
So that was about the only two. I still ain't seen Beast. Finished watching Beast of No Nation, but I know he was one of those guys those warlord guys. That be like enlisting kids to go do wreaking havoc and crap.
Oh yeah, they're being a warlord, sure.
And he was a villain in Star Trek Beyond. Okay, so he's been in a couple as a villain.
Yeah, but
yeah, I can honestly see what you're saying. The reason why I like say Benedict Cumberbatch, because hell, he did Small. In fact, Benedict Cumberbatch is always like a cool bad guy.
Well, he just played the Grinch in the animated one.
I didn't know that. Was it good?
I haven't seen it yet.
I heard somebody say it was pretty good. I'm gonna check it out too.
I haven't seen that one yet.
And of course, you got Andy Serkis, and Andy Serkis
plays everything.
Yeah, good with the motion capture and stuff.
But very rarely does he actually play a physical entity. He's usually always CGI'd or in makeup or something along those lines. So you don't. I think the only movie that he's actually physical. Let me remember. I think
it's the Avengers. And he's in MCU.
Yeah, he played. He played. What's his name? Claw.
Claw.
I think that's the only movie he's actually ever physically been him. Well, not CGI'd and not.
He's been in he has been in a ton. He's been in a lot more movies than I thought he was.
Man, he's been in a truckload, but most of them
are
all either CGI'd voices or makeup, and you don't really know it's him.
Okay, so he was Gollum in Lord of the Rings.
Now, he did play himself in there briefly.
Yeah.
When he was still, before he became the Gollum, when he first got the ring. That was him in the movie.
That was him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He was, of course, Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
CGI.
He was Claw. He was also
physical human.
He was also Snook.
CGI.
Oh, cool. So, yeah. So it's a lot you can. Okay. So those are like some decent choices. I can understand Idris Elba though, but I think I'm still going to stick with Benedict Cumberbatch. I don't know if you want to go through the rest of them. Cause I still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. I went all out. I went all out. For that magician guy, the one that kept transforming into different animals and stuff, I also want his character to be a little bit more helpful because he was pretty useless the entire movie. I think he only had like one scene, and that's when he got shot when he was inside when they were inside the fortress.
The wizard?
Not the side that kept. Yeah, the one that kept turning into animals and stuff.
Yes, he was the. I know who you're talking about.
He's like the comedy relief, but I'm like, okay, kind of useless, man. Like, I want you to do something, and he did do something at the end of the movie. He was like the glaive. He was like the glaive. He had that one moment at the end of the movie, and that was it.
Next.
But I picked Matt Smith or David Tennant.
I like David Tennant too much to put him in something like that, so I'll go with Smith.
And the thing about both of these actors is I like that they both can play eccentric characters.
Yes.
And I think it could fit that, but they also can play some very serious ones too.
Ooh, man, David, or yeah, Tenet. Ooh, Purple Man.
Did you ever see The Crown?
I don't think so.
But The Crown is like I think Queen Victoria or Queen Elizabeth during the Second World War. It was like within like the last, I can't remember. Let me look it up right quick. Well, Matt Smith is one of the main characters in it, and he's playing this this like the husband of Queen. What's her name?
Let's see. The
Queen Elizabeth II. Yes.
Okay.
He's like he's the Duke of
Edinburgh.
Yes. So like, and that's a good one. Like if you want to see him act, he does a good job right there. Like that's him in acting, not the goofy stuff that he normally does. I like him. I like him in The Crown. He does a great job in The Crown to me. So that's why I chose both of them, because they could both be very serious actors, but they at the same time they play eccentric characters.
Well, he actually got a Emmy Award nomination for primetime. Matt Smith did for that The Crown series.
Like I say, it's a good series. I'd tell anybody, if you like that type of stuff, watch. It's good.
Yeah, I've been gut roped into Outlander.
I still have yet to see that. I want to see.
Oh, I am deep into that one now. It started off like I don't know, and then it's like play the next episode. Play the next episode. 3 o'clock in the morning, you got to go to work, and you still watch.
I just got Van Helsing, the TV series. I like the series. I cannot stand the main girl. It was whoever wrote the character felt like she was trying to write. It was like one of those amateur feminist women that like the chicks that they write have to be flawless. Like they have to be invulnerable. They have to have all the answers. She could kick everybody's butt. She has no developing arc whatsoever. She is one of the most poorly written characters I've ever seen in a television series. Because she just like the most, like the whole Van Helsing, if you watch it, it reminds you of Z Nation. Which Z Nation got fucking canceled. I'm pissed about that. But but she's the only like weak link in that show. It's her. And even though the show's about her, she's the weakest link. Because doesn't matter who she fights, she beats them. Like there was this one scene where her and someone else was stuck in this closet, and there was a whole group of vampires outside. And these weren't like the regular vampires. These were more skilled, more thoughtful ones. So they're a little bit more deadlier. And it was like, well, we're being overrun. And then she does something, and then just that's it. Oh, King got knocked off. Oh man. Oh, snaps. It looks like he got knocked off. I guess we'll just end it here. I definitely want to go back and talk about the Van Helsing, but we can do that later in another video. Definitely going to get back up with you guys again. Thank you guys for watching our video. In the comment section below, let us know if you will want to see Krull as a reboot, remake, or do you want to see it as a movie series or a television series? Also, be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what we have going on this channel, because as you know, we always upload videos every week. So y'all go ahead, stay tuned for those bad boys, and we will catch you guys later. Narik and Crew out, even though he got kicked off a little bit earlier. So anyways, catch you guys later. Peace.